What's up, y'all? My bad that I haven't been on here. I know it's been more than a week since I posted my last vid, but I was going through some stuff this past week and started having some intrusive thoughts, but I'm okay. I did think that I should have made a video while I was feeling like that, but I didn't. But next time for sure I'll do that, just so you guys can see, hear authentically what I go through from a mental standpoint, how I catch myself, so that I don't go down that spiral of feeling so negative, and try to retrain my brain from thinking so negatively to more positively. So definitely will do that next time. My bad about the music. Somebody's just getting home, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. But I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm pretty much having a good day myself. I'm kind of sorry, I just got a phone call. I just got off of work, and let me tell you, okay, perfect example of changing your perspective. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all a little story that I had, that way you guys can see what I talk about, because I mentioned in one of my past videos to, change your perspective on things or ask questions, so that you're not sitting there thinking about something in a way that's probably not even reality. Okay, here is a perfect example. It happened to me just a couple days ago, and I was gonna make this video the day it happened, but again, I was kind of going through it a little bit, but we're okay. So a couple days ago, I went to work. So just to explain, I told y'all that I'm a hairstylist, and so you have the stylist and then you have the receptionist, right? So the receptionists are supposed to come in to open the shop 30 minutes before we open, okay? And then the stylists show up 15 minutes before we open, okay? And so all the stylists get there, me included, and we're all like chilling outside, waiting for it to be time for us to go inside. And we seen that the lights still weren't on, so we're like, okay, is there no receptionist today? Okay, so one of my co-workers, she ends up calling my boss, asking like, hey, there's nobody here yet, is somebody coming? And my boss was like, oh, give me a second, let me see who's supposed to open. Come to find out, it was the assistant manager that was supposed to open. And so, but it was okay though, we still got in there, did what we had to do, and I ended up having to put my big girl pants on and work the front a little bit, even though I was supposed to take a client. So all of us were supposed to have one, all of us, and including me. Luckily, my co-workers, being the amazing people that they are, we were all basically helping each other out. And when I was working the front for a little while, I wasn't able to take my client. So what I did was I washed her, and then luckily one of my clients finished her client, one of my co-workers finished her client pretty fast, so she ended up hopping on her for me. Cool. And like I said, we pretty much help each other out, so it's awesome. It's a really good teamwork, work ethic that we have going on at the salon that I work at, so that's cool. So Cool. We had it all figured out. My assistant manager ended up coming in. Cool is cool, okay? I was feeling pretty good about it. Even though some of my coworkers were like asking me, like, hey, are you okay? This, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, we good. Everything's good. Now, I'm getting to the part, okay? Now, I was feeling good about the whole thing until my coworker that called my boss, you know, to like ask her like who was supposed to be opening. She came to the back, and I heard her say that our boss ended up sending her a message that she meant to send to the assistant manager saying they're just now asking after she got off the phone with her. That's what I heard, okay? When my coworker said that, that's what I heard. And so after she said that, my coworker ended up going back to her client, and I was sitting there, I was dwelling on that. I was like, and you know, and that happens once you start getting triggered and you want to just react and not find the information. The old me would have been just sitting on that, and I would have, you know, let myself get angry and let myself keep thinking about it, you know, like I'll forget them, like what they mean, we just now asking, like that's not our job. Like how are we supposed to know that somebody was like not gonna be coming in this morning? How are we supposed to know to like call and be like, hey, like what's going on? You know, that's not part of our pay grade. The old me would have thought about it that way, okay? And this is what I keep saying in my past videos: you gotta ask questions. You have to ask questions. So I was sitting there and I was thinking about it, and I was letting myself get upset about the situation. But then I ended up asking her. I was like, can I see the message? Can I see the message? And so she did. She showed it to me, and it said they are asking. And, you know, and that just kind of revealed to me that it wasn't what I thought it was. And that is my point. Like, change your perspective, okay? You know, ask questions so that you're not sitting there making up scenarios that probably aren't even the reality of the situation. If I didn't ask that question, I would have still been upset about it. Making up a whole nother story, a whole nother narrative that's not even accurate. Ask questions. Ask questions. You know? And with her actually saying they're asking, she was just, you know, she meant to just let the assistant manager know, like, hey, like they're wondering where you are. You know what I mean? And I almost took it to a whole nother left side. You know, you feel me? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta ask questions. Ask questions. And I'm not saying ask questions in like a antagonizing kind of way. Just be civil about it. Be civil about it. Don't be acting like you a detective in interrogation and things like that. Just ask questions like, hey, I just wanted to clarify. Like, I just, I'm confused, or I'm not sure what's going on. Just ask questions. Ask questions in a in a proper manner. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. Because yeah, that would have ruined my day. For sure. That would have ruined my day. The old me. That would have ruined my day. And I'm very, very happy that like I've gotten to the point to, because also too, me in the past, like I used to be so quiet that like I wouldn't even like want to ask people questions. But I've gotten to a point where I don't mind. I don't mind talking to people. I don't mind asking people questions. And it's not so much of me not liking to talk to people. It's more of, if I don't know you, if I'm not comfortable with you, I'm not going to sit here and ask you to do unnecessary things. At least to me. Like, I feel like me asking her, me in the past, I feel like me asking her to see that message is a waste of her time. You know what I mean? It's a waste of her time. But at the same time, like, I'm gonna put my mental first at the same time. You know what I mean? It's okay to clarify. It's okay. It's just a simple message at the end of the day. Like, all she got to do is just whip out her phone real quick. It's not wasting anybody's time. It's not a waste of time, especially if it's something to make sure that you're okay on a mental standpoint. It's not a waste of time. You're taking care of you. You know, self-love, taking care of you. Now, I love my boss, because there was also a point in time too, and with everything that I was going through on a mental standpoint, that, you know, I felt like a lot of people would be against me and things like that, and my boss was included. But honestly, she has probably taught me so much. But at the end of the day, she is my boss, so she you know. There are times where I had to be humbled a little bit, you know. I had to be humbled, you know, and that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. But no, she has also taught me a lot, though. She has also taught me a lot. Like, there was a lot of times where I first started working here at the salon, and I just didn't want to. I was going back and forth a lot between, is this really what I want to do? Like, is this really for me? Because there was a lot of times where I was messing up. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of times I was messing up, and I wasn't very confident. And there was one day where I was like, I need a me day to, like, decide whether or not this is really for me. And I told her that, and she was like, I totally get it, but I don't think that you should leave, though. Stay. Take your time. Don't feel like you need to rush. Don't worry about timing, because typically for us, the way that our system works, we do, like, one client should take about 45 minutes on average. Depending on the hair, though, it could take anywhere between, like, my hair, for example, could take anywhere between an hour to 2 hours, depending on who's doing my hair. But typically, on average, 45 minutes. And when I first started working, I used to be so focused on making sure I finished on time. And so doing that, though, I used to mess up. And when I say mess up, like, I used to not dry the hair all the way, this and that. And then plus, on top of that, I was at the peak of my depression phase. So not only was I going through things outside of my job, but I was messing up at my job. So it wasn't a good time. But she was really, really there. And there was a couple times too where she was like, Demisha, you need to get your ish together, my girl. You need to get your ish together. But ultimately, she kind of pointed out to me where, you know, that day, for example, when I asked her that I think I needed a me day, she, you know, was talking to me, and she was like, I understand. I don't think you should do that. You know, like I said, she said, take your time. Don't worry about timing. Don't worry about what's going on up here. Because that was another thing too. When I first started working there, I worked up at the front first, and I wasn't a stylist, so I knew what it was like if a stylist was falling behind. So I knew, like, that was also in my head once I started being a stylist. So that was also in the back of my mind. And she told me, like, don't worry about that. You see people up here, don't worry about it. And then she was like, and I'm not saying, you know, because I ended up telling her about things that I had going on outside of home, outside of work. And she would tell me, like, I'm not saying what you have going on outside of work isn't important, but you just have to learn that whatever's going on outside of work, you need to leave it at the door. And while you're here, because you work in a hospitality environment, you know, where the experience is part of the job. And, you know, me being trying to take myself out of my comfort zone and not wanting to be in a job where I don't talk to people, that is true. That is true. You know, even though I'm a quiet person and all of that, like, I decided to be in a job that takes me out of that. So she was, you know, she pointed that out to me, and I didn't think about it that way at the time. And so that really got me to, you know, like she said, get my ish together. It did. And, you know, and I didn't tell her for the longest what was going on with me at home and things like that, what was going on with me from a mental standpoint. I didn't tell her about all that probably for 2 years of working there, because again, like, I didn't feel safe to really tell anybody about what was going on with me and things like that. And so once I finally told her about things that I have gone through, she, like, I think it also brought a lot of things to life for her about me, because, you know, again, like, a lot of people see me and see the way that I present myself, and they don't really think, like, oh, she might be, you know, I'm sure she does, because she's a very observant person, so I'm pretty sure she's seen that I was probably going through something in a mental standpoint, but I don't think she knew the extent of it until I talked about it with her. And so I really, really appreciate her a lot. Again, like, she's taught me a lot. There's been some times where we've had tension. There's been times, but, you know, everybody does. There's not going to be perfect days, and everybody has their days where they're, you know, feeling, you know, not feeling 100%. Me too. You know, that's all of us. Not every single day is going to be perfect. I don't know anybody that has a, you know, perfect day every single day. It's not realistic. It's not, you know, real world if that is the case. Everybody has their days. And that's something that I've come to realize, because I used to think, like, when I tell y'all, one of my biggest things was I used to feel like everybody was against me. Like, everybody, even people that don't know me and I don't know them. If you came into contact with me, though, just saying hello, I'm like, oh my God, another one. Another one. But it's not like that anymore. And that's why I'm kind of, like, so grateful with how far I have come in general, like, in life, like, generally, because I don't even think like that anymore. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for her for being so patient with me, and a lot of my other coworkers that have been, you know, there since I started working there. And because they even see too that I've been coming out of my shell a lot recently, especially, like, these past 6 months. Really have been stepping out of my shell, and that is what I'm saying, though. Like, you have to change your perspective. Like, change it. Ask questions. ask questions. That is a perfect example. I should have made this video the day that it happened, but again, I was going through it mentally, but we good now. We good now. we good now. But like I said, I will definitely, the next time I start feeling a little bit down, I'll make a video while I'm feeling like that, so I can tell y'all at that moment what I kind of do to get myself out of feeling like that, because it happens. It's going to happen, especially if you were in such a traumatic situation, or whatever your situation was that got you to start thinking, having those intrusive thoughts and having those triggers from everyday life. It's gonna happen. And that's why I also say, just be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. If you don't feel like your mind is changing, again, it takes time. I started actually, I want to say, as far as my mental, I started actually working on my mental 2 years ago. 2 years ago. No, I'm sorry. A year ago. Actually working on my mental a year ago. On a habitual, consistent basis. Started actually taking the time to work on my mental a year ago. So, and already, like I said, I'm already catching when I start, making up my own scenarios with these situations, man. Just like what I told you. If I didn't ask my coworker to see that message, if I didn't ask her to see that message, oh my gosh, I had to go outside and take a breather after I seen that message. You have no idea, the weight that was lifted off of my shoulders. I was just woosah. Woosah. I was ooh. Oh my goodness. I was just just send me home. Just send me home. Not after I seen the message, before. I was just just send me home. I need to restart the day, because I was so livid. I was like, what are we talking about? They're just not asking. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Oh my goodness. But no. No. Ultimately, it's oh my goodness. And don't get me wrong, though, there are times where you should defend yourself in that way, depending on the situation. I would say, though, I've kind of gotten to a place finally. Well, not gotten there. I'm getting there, but I used to be very reactive to people who used to give me attitude, right? But I want to say recently, when I see somebody giving me an attitude, I just sit and I listen for a second. I used to wanna interrupt and react back, return that energy that they're giving to me. But it's why would I want to match that? I think about, I've been thinking about that recently. If somebody's sitting there and yelling at me, why would I want to match that? No. No, I'm not gonna sit here and take myself out of my happy mood just because you're sitting here yelling at me. I'm not about to know. Mm-mm. Oh no. You want to sit there and have an attitude? You can sit there and have that attitude by yourself. Let me know when you're feeling better and we can have an actual civil conversation. when you feel like talking to me from, when you're not trying to talk down to me. I mean, you ain't never gonna talk down to me, but you know what I mean. You tried to talk down to me, but check yourself. Because I'm not. And I've been feeling like that recently. I used to want to match that energy though. Like if you sitting here yelling at me, I'm gonna yell at you back. Like, what you talking about? What are we talking about right now? But nah. Recently, I've kind of been getting to a place where just because you like that, I'm not gonna sit here and ruin my mood just to match yours. If you in that energy, absolutely not. No. Mm-mm. Nope. I don't see the point when it comes to matching somebody's energy that's like that. No point whatsoever. No point. Especially if it's something that isn't even worth it. Like, for example, say okay, actually, let's just use what happened to me a few days ago. Say, like, if I was the old me and I would have just kept letting that shit spiral in my head, right? And then I ended up, wanting to argue about that with somebody, right? And like with my assistant manager or my boss, and they would have just been looking at me like, what is she talking about? Like, what is she talking about? Or cause it's like why? Cause cause I would have been coming over there yelling at them, thinking that, what are you talking about? We were just now asking you, yada yada yada, ... and then it's kind of like they would have just been looking at me like, what is she talking about? Like, they're not gonna sit there and match that because they know the real story. You know what I mean? There's no point in matching it. At the end of the day, they're just gonna be watching me wanting to laugh at me, because it's like, what is she talking about? Now, most people though, if I'm sitting there yelling at you and coming at you, then it's kind of like most people again want to match that. But you gotta pick and choose when it's valid to act like that. If it's something that's unnecessary, like what I just said, there's no point in matching it, especially if you know the truth of the situation. Just let that person assume whatever they want to assume, because at the end of the day, you know the real story. If somebody is accusing you of something that you did not do, just in one ear and out the other. Because it's like, even if you do try to, sorry about the music, because even if you do try to defend yourself most of the time, if somebody's coming at you in that reactive way, they already feel like they're in the right 9 times out of 10. That is why they're coming at you like that. because they feel like they got all the information, they accurate as fuck, and they think that they think they on you about something. Like, oh, I'm one up on you. I caught you in something. So that's why they're coming up with that energy. And it's like, then it's like, you watch them hooting and hollering, and then and then you like, you done? Because that's not even what happened. And then it's like when you, if you were to laugh at them though, if you were to laugh at them for being in that mood though, then that makes you a bad person. And honestly, I don't honestly, being on this side now and not that side of being the reactive person, I understand why people laugh now. Because I used to be the person that would be the over-the-top reactor. Now I realize, being on the other side now, why people would laugh at that person. Because it's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Now, if you are that person that has those over-the-top reactions, I'm not making fun of you. Do not take it that way. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not. But that is the whole point of this video, is you have to change your perspective. Get more information first. Get more information first. Get more information first. It saves you a lot mentally if you get more information first, rather than just thinking that you got all the information already. Because, you know, and I've noticed this too, being angry, being sad, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're all important emotions. All of our emotions are important, but when it comes to feeling those two specifically, it's heavy. It's heavy. I don't know about anybody else, but being sad and angry is not like, those two emotions are not something I want to be in 24/7. I don't know about anybody else. Like, I don't know anybody that's like, oh yeah, what you plan on doing today? Oh, you know, I plan on being so angry today. So angry. I just want to yell at everybody. I just want to yell at everybody today. Or like, nah, bro, I'm about to be up here and cry all damn day. That's my plan. Just cry into my pillow all day. Like, I don't know anybody that looks forward to that. I don't know anybody that looks forward to that. And again, I'm not saying that those emotions are important. Every single emotion is important, but to make an effort to be in those emotions though on a consistent basis, on a day-to-day basis, is burdensome. It is a lot of weight. It really is. I don't like feeling like that at all. I don't like feeling angry. I don't like feeling sad. But when I do feel those though, I let it be. I let it happen. Because if you sit there and you try to push those emotions down, you try not to feel them, they're going to come back up again. It's inevitable. It's going to come back up again, whether something else triggers it or whether you think about whatever made you angry in the first place. It's going to happen. Why? Because it's unresolved within yourself. It's unresolved within yourself, and you need to resolve those things. If you're angry about something, let it out in a healthy way. Don't take it out on somebody. Let it out in a healthy way. If you need to vent about it, you know, like, find somebody to vent, not to take your anger out on, to vent. Like, hey, like, I had a bad day. Are you willing to just, you know, listen to me, like real quick. If you don't want to talk about it with anybody, write about it. Or if you're somebody that likes boxing, go and hit a fucking what do you call those things? Wow, it's leaving my mind. Oh my god, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because it's leaving my mind right now. I can't recall what it's called, but yeah. Or like when you're sad, like however you need to get your sadness out, do it. If you need to cry, cry. Even if you're a man, you know. I know they say, nah, men don't cry. That is society, you know, programming. I am sorry. I don't care what people say about men crying. Men can cry, especially if they, you know, if nobody's around and they in the shower by themselves. Let them tears out. If you feeling sad, let them out. Ain't nobody see you. You feeling sad about something? Let that out. Let it out. Why sit there and not try to feel something? You know? Because then you just forcing yourself not to feel something. You're going to end up feeling it anyway in the future. So just feel it now. However you feeling right now, feel it. We're not afraid to let ourselves feel happy or excited or horny. We're not afraid to let ourselves feel like that. So why are you afraid to let yourself feel anger or sadness? Like, just let yourself feel it. Just feel it. Just feel it. And when I'm talking about let yourself feel it, I'm not talking about, you know, going and drinking. Because most of the time, like, like they say that if you drink while you're sad, you feel worse. Yes and no, but it's like you're not actually feeling it, because you're still numbing yourself at the end of the day. You're not really feeling it. When I say feel it, feel it. Sit in that. Sit in it. Like, for example, me right now, if I was sad, I would literally sit here and I would feel it. And I would reflect on it. Like, okay, that situation made me sad. Why is it making me sad? What can I do to prevent myself from letting that situation or any situation similar to that happen again, so I don't have to feel like that again? You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to feel sadness or anger. It's just how you handle anger or sadness. It's how you handle it. When you're angry, if somebody did something that made you angry, okay, I understand. Your first thought is to, all right, they made me angry, so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna get at them because they're the ones that made me angry, and I want them to know what I'm feeling. I want them to feel what I feel. I want them to see how they make me feel. I get that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, if somebody did something intentional, okay, just think about it for a second. If somebody did something intentionally to make you mad, you think they're gonna care about whatever you have to say about that situation? Like, at all? You think they're gonna care at all? You think they're gonna care that you mad? Or that they hurt you, or whatever the case may be? You think they care? So why? And the whole revenge thing, like, what's the point? What's the point? Because still, more than half the time, once you get revenge, it doesn't really solve anything. Nobody really learned anything. More than half the time. It's very rare where people do learn something. But more than half the time, people don't really learn anything when it comes to revenge. They really don't. They really don't. So at the end of the day, plus also too, people are in charge of your feelings too. So it's like, okay, they were the cause of my feeling, but they don't got control over that. Okay, yeah. They intentionally hurt me. If they did it intentionally. They intentionally hurt me. Am I gonna sit here and give them the power for my anger? Or can't speak, excuse me. Or am I gonna sit here, reflect on it, and make sure that they don't do that ever again? Make sure they don't take me out of my happiness again. Don't give them that control to take you out of your happiness. And that's why I say, change your perspective. Change your perspective. Change it. Change it. Change it. The only one that had control of your emotions is you. You. Okay? You. Yes, people will be the cause of you feeling some type of way. Yes. But when it comes to making sure you're happy, making sure you're okay, that's up to you. That's up to you. What are you gonna do about it? Okay, so they made you angry. What are you gonna do about it? In a healthy way. Okay, let's keep that in mind. In a healthy way. Let's keep that in mind. In a healthy way. What are we going to do about it? That'll benefit you. Now, I know I missed it. I was talking about somebody doing something to you intentionally. Now, if somebody does something to you unintentionally, and you're gonna sit here and just do an over-the-top reaction, how were they supposed to know that that was going to piss you off or make you sad? You know? Especially if y'all are just getting to know each other. Like if it's somebody new, like if it's somebody that you're dating or something like that, and they do something that you don't like, and you're gonna sit here and do an over-the-top reaction. You didn't even give them a chance. You didn't even give them a heads up. Let them know. And even then, like, even if you do tell them and they end up doing it again, like, why are you gonna let them mess up your mood? Why? And again, I'm not saying that if somebody makes you mad, if somebody does something, you shouldn't feel that emotion. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that if somebody does something and then you start feeling angry or sad, feel it, feel it. But don't be so quick to react. Don't be so quick to react. Let yourself feel it, whether for 5 minutes, an hour, however long that you need to sit in that and reflect about it. And then when you're in a more calm place, then react, where you're thinking more clearly. Never react when you're not, what's the term? Never react from an unbalanced place. Never react from an unbalanced place. It's not healthy. And again, this is all things that I am learning too. And so I'm not sitting here and just, up here talking just because I feel like it's, it's, I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say, but I'm actually up here and I'm talking about this stuff because I actually, I've gone through this stuff. I've gone through it. And I want to help people to, not go through things like that. I'm trying to do my part. And, because again, I've been there where I didn't know how to handle certain situations. And whenever I would ask people for advice, a lot of people would say things like, why do you care? And I'm not trying to be a person who doesn't care. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be that kind of person. I am a very caring person. Very, very caring. I'm very caring, very nurturing, very understanding. I'm somebody who would put somebody else before myself. You know what I mean? And there's a point in time, and that's not a bad thing. If you're somebody that's like that, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's not actually at all. Don't ever change that. But just like I said in one of my previous videos, you gotta learn who deserves that and who doesn't. Okay? You gotta learn who deserves all your love and compassion and your nurturing self, beautiful self. You gotta learn who deserves it and who doesn't. Because not everybody deserves it. And if somebody fumbles that, hey, don't worry about it, sweetheart. If somebody fumbles you, don't worry about it, sweetheart. Change your perspective. Get more information. Complete example from today. Or not today, but y'all know what I mean. Literally had that experience not too long ago. And that's what I'm saying, life will hit you with these tests every now and again just to see if you've learned that lesson, and again, have that compassion with yourself, because there's not gonna be times where you'll handle a situation right every single time. There's gonna be times where you're gonna there's gonna be some times where you might handle a situation the way you used to handle a situation in the past, and that's okay. That is okay. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it. It's gonna take time. Things take time. Always. Everything takes time. All good things take time. Especially when you are working on it from a consistent standpoint. Everything takes time. And it's okay. It is okay. As long as you know. And I've learned this too. That if you fall into an old pattern and you realize that afterwards, you took acknowledgement that you did that is actually the good thing, the healthy thing, is that you realize that you handled something the way that you did in the past. As long as you acknowledge that, cool, good. Don't sit here and forgive yourself. Don't sit here and beat yourself up about it. As long as you realize, hey, like, dang, I really handled that badly. Good. It's good that you see that. Now in the future, just make sure you try to catch it before you act like that again. I hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. I really do. I really, really do. Because again, this is all things that I am learning too. And I kept saying to myself, like, I shouldn't start this channel so early because I'm just finally finding my footing on how to apply everything that I've been learning into my life. And I'm like, why? Like, I feel like that's like doing it right now is even better, so that we can relate even more. Because again, like, I'm just now putting all this into effect. I went and I did all my trying to learn, you know, learn about all this stuff, and now I'm actually applying it to my life. And it is not easy. It is not easy. It's not easy, but again, be gentle with yourself. Because I'm definitely being gentle with myself more and more. That's for sure. I'm always so hard on myself. Always over critiquing myself, for sure. But so if you're somebody that does that, I get it. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay. But my voice is going, as you can hear. So I'm gonna stop the video here, and again, I apologize for not being on here, but I'm gonna figure out like a schedule to start posting more consistently, on a consistent basis. Haven't figured it out just yet. I kind of just been posting or making the videos when, you know, ideas kind of pop up into my brain. And so, or like when situations in my life happen and gives me an idea. But I'll definitely try to come up with a schedule. We'll see. Try to facilitate it into us, you know, a plan a little bit, but we'll see. Thank you so much if you came this far, because this is almost an hour. So thank you so much if you listened this far, and I will see or talk to y'all in the next video. Okay, have a good night or a day whenever you're listening to this.